Welcome back to the Center Surge, and if you are not already, be sure to click that subscribe button today. Joined by Brody for three quick takeaways following OU's 20-6 victory over Cincinnati. Brody, you want to get started with takeaway number one?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to the first takeaway. The defense is the real deal. I mean, they didn't give up a touchdown today. I think it was 2 turnovers. Is that right? The Key Lawrence pick and the Billy Bowman pick.
Yeah.
They were just very impressive. I mean, I think, I saw a stat. They came out, they were forcing, it was like field goal, punt, 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 field goal, punt, punt, punt. And it was like 3 plays, 4 plays. These were not long drives in that first half. I was very impressed with how the defense looked. I thought the pressure they were getting on the QB was better today. They had some bust. I mean, you think about the Deshaun McCullough one where they got the 40-yard play on that. There were a little bit of missed tackles, but I think that's what you expect when you go up against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is not Arkansas State. It's not Tulsa. They're going to beat you on some plays. They're going to win reps. But I think this defense played very well, and especially starting at linebacker with Danny Stutzman, who, in my opinion, has hands down been the best player on this team so far.
Yeah, bend don't break mentality. That's what the Sooners had. They would bend at times. They never broke. Only allowed 6 points, 2 field goals. One of them was like a 55-yarder. Like, the defense did their job on that possession after they gave up a big play, I believe. Anyhow, the talk going into this game was, well, yeah, OU has a top 5 scoring defense in the country, but who have they played? Their biggest opponent is SMU. Other than that, it's Tulsa and then Arkansas State. Now you go to Cincinnati. You shut them down, 6 points allowed. Just the defense looked like what you expect a Brent Venables defense to look like. The blitzes that they were running, like they were sending the house at times. Again, the sack totals are not where you would like to see them at.
They got the pressure, though.
Yeah, the pressure's there. They had 2 sacks today, but the pressure was getting there pretty much constantly. Emory Jones has played a lot of college football. Sooners did a good job of forcing him to make some mistakes. He also did well of extending plays, avoiding the pressure. I think he did really well for the amount of pressure OU was getting to him. And also, when your offensive line can hold the entire game and not get a single call, that makes it a lot easier for a quarterback to evade the pressure. But overall, the defense looked much improved. Continued on with another great performance. It's now 4 straight weeks where the defense arguably could have won them the game. I mean, they did today. The offense wasn't up to the standard. The defense was. It's nice to finally have a defense that has the offense's back. I know probably over the past 7-10 years even, if there was an offensive performance like today, OU would not have won. Because the defense wouldn't have been able to bail them out like they did today.
Cincinnati was 3 for 15 on third downs. That's what you want. And I'll admit it, I was a little concerned going into the game just because the fact that Emory Jones is a legitimate threat running the football. So I was worried that was really going to affect Oklahoma. And when you look at it, he rushed for 42 yards, pretty solid. But I think Oklahoma overall did a good job containing him, and they got a lot of pressure. And I think while it may not show up in the sacks, it shows up in Emory Jones' completion percentage. I mean, he was 56% or 54%, 22 for 41. So I think the pressure affected him there. There was a lot of guys. I thought Laulu, he had one of the sacks. He played pretty well. I mean, Isaiah Coe had some nice plays. Reggie Grimes made a really nice play on third down. So there's just overall, like when you look at it, there's so many guys on this defense. Deshaun McCullough, we got to see him for the first time. He had 7 tackles. Very impressive performance, in my opinion, aside from a little mistake that he made on that 40-yard play. But just watching him out there, the way he moves and the way they can blitz him. And you're right when you said they were doing a lot of blitzes. They were bringing everyone a couple times. They brought the corners a lot. They brought Stutzman Mechanic. It seemed like almost every other play. So it was great to see just the way this defense performed. And when you're up 10-3 and you kept giving Cincinnati the ball back, it's like, okay, Cincinnati can really make this a 10-10 game, and the defense would just keep getting stopped. So I think it's just great to now have a defense that I think we can all say is the real deal. and they went out there and they won Oklahoma. Oklahoma's defense won them a football game.
Yeah, going against Cardell Williams for a bit last week, I think that helped a lot in the preparation for Emory Jones. Emory Jones is like a 6-year senior, maybe even 7-year. He's played a lot of college football. You talk about guys that played a lot of college football. Emory Jones and Dylan Gabriel are two quarterbacks that are going to get thrown up there a lot. They've played for a long time. He's a veteran, so to be able to kind of it's hard to game plan for that dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
If you look at what OU has on roster, they don't have anyone. They used to have Michael Bowen. No longer have him to prepare for a dual threat quarterback. So I'm really impressed with how they did on that defensive line. There's a lot of guys you can mention. PJ, like that. That's one that Marcus Stripling had another great game. Noah Mason Thomas again. Ethan Downs impressed me again. Just the entire defensive line. Really good performance. If defense continues on this trajectory, it's going to be a fun one in Dallas. If the defense is playing like that, when you're playing probably pending no slip-ups, a top 3 team in Texas.
Yeah, and you want to know what could make that game in Dallas not a fun one? Oklahoma's running game being the way it has been so far. And it looked better later on in the game, I'll say. It seemed like they started to figure some things out. And Marcus Major, he looked pretty good today. I'll be the one to say it. I've been critical of him. But they still got to figure it out because the run game in the first half, that was abysmal.
Yeah, I'm so just lost on this run game. Tawee Walker's the best running back on the team, and it's not even close. Marcus Major has done very well too.
Very well.
Where's Javonte Barnes? Where's Gavin Sawchuk? These are 2 4-stars that shined last year. They flashed what their potential is.
Barnes didn't even step on the field.
Did Sawchuk? I never saw him.
Apparently, he played on kickoff.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you can count that. That doesn't count for offensive snaps. So where are they at? It's a weird thing. Because you can almost look at it as like a positive from DeMarco Murray on. You have Tawee Walker, who's a PWO, playing like a very, very good running back, arguably the best running back in the conference, possibly. With the way he has played at times, Marcus Major's been great. And then you have Javonte Barnes, Gavin Sawchuk. They're 2 4-stars that are sophomores, or Sawchuk's a redshirt freshman. And where are they at? They're not there. So as something's went wrong on that part. Maybe it's just Tawee Walker has been that good, and Marcus Major has been that good to where DeMarco's put in a tough position on who to put out there because you got to reward the player playing the best in practice. Anyhow, regardless of who's there, you got to establish the run. The offensive line struggled for a good portion of the game establishing the run game. I know, though, when we start to hear some post-game press conferences, and then as the week progresses, they're going to be unhappy with the yards per carry. They shoot for 5. Today, as a team, you had 3.1. So, they were unhappy before with like 4.6, 4.7. So now to be down to 3.1 yards per carry. The offensive line themselves are going to be disappointed. Bill Bedenbaugh is going to be disappointed too. I'm sure Jeff Lebby as well. So you got to get that figured out. You got to establish the run game. That's what makes Jeff Lebby's offense successful, is the run game. A lot of people talk about, how his quarterbacks are able to air it out. They're able to air it out because they established the run. Back-to-back seasons when he was at Ole Miss in 21, led the SEC in rushing yards. At OU in the Big 12 last season, led the Big 12 in rushing yards. So this year that has not been the case. So you got to figure that out.
Yeah, Major and Walker both looked good once there was holes in the offense. So, they got to figure out the run game. And I think that will help the overall offense.
Yeah, that scoring drive in the third quarter, that's what you need. Marcus Major was just pounding it. Then Dylan Gabriel capped off the drive as kind of like he was pushing in. Also, when you get picked up by like a 6'6" guy in Tyler Guyton, and carried
That was
into the end
Walter
zone.
Rouse.
Oh, my bad. Walter Rouse. So, I
Still
mean, they're
6'6".
they're still up there in size. So to be able to get picked up by your offensive tackle and carried into the end zone, you love that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the third and final takeaway on this video, and that it's just the overall offensive execution needs to improve. I mean, 10-3 going into half, the game should have been about 28-3. And a lot of that starts with the QB. That's always how it's going to be. When your offense is executing, who's everyone going to point to? The quarterback. And I think the play calling was great. It was the execution that wasn't good. I mean, you had the third down where Stoops dropped it. You had the Jalil Farouk overthrow. There was just a lot of mistakes that you just can't, like, you're not going to be able to make those mistakes when you're playing in Dallas. You can make them against Iowa State, Tulsa, but you're not going to be able to make those mistakes when you're playing in Dallas.
Jeff Lebby had arguably his best game as offensive coordinator for the Sooners. The stuff he was drawing up today, it was there. There was just no execution for a large portion of the game. That's why they only put up 20 points. That's why they only scored 2 touchdowns. I'm sure they're going to hear about it all week. Like, you got to execute. Jalil Farouk, wide open. You got to make that throw. You can't overthrow. Underthrow. An underthrow is better than an overthrow in that situation because he's by the defense enough. He can still make a play on the ball, possibly even score still. For sure, pick up like 40 yards. Got to make better reads. Again,
have to.
Texas's front seven doesn't mess around. They get pressure. They pressured Jalen Milroe a lot in Tuscaloosa. They pulled off the upset from that. So you got to be able to handle that pressure. That's one thing that Dylan Gabriel still needs to improve on, is staying calm under pressure. Got to stay confident. I've said that a lot. Just be confident that you're the best player on the field. You're going to start playing like it if you get into that mindset. So that's the big thing for them. Again, sometimes games like this are nice. So, I mean, beating everyone by 80 points, that's great, but you're not learning much from it. You're not it's hard to see what you need to improve on when you beat the brakes off of a team like they have 2 of the 3 weeks in non-conference play. So they got a lot to learn from. Got to get ready for Iowa State this week. Night game at the Palace. So just overall got to be able to execute.
Yeah, I think, that's one of the biggest things for the offense. The offensive line needs to execute better. Dylan Gabriel needs to execute better. Wide receivers can't drop passes. Gabriel can't overthrow wide receivers. Running game needs to be better. It's just all kind of stuff. But the offense, if it would have been executing, clicking, this game would not have been as close as the score said it was. So, yeah, I think that kind of wraps up everything we had. Did you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, really, if you execute at even 75%, this is a 40-point win. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of misreads, drops. Can't have drops. I mean, we've already had enough problems with getting the ball to the receiver. When he finally puts it there, you got to catch it. I mean, you got to give him that. There's just a lot to clean up. Not the end of the world. The defense has their back. That's the big takeaway, is the defense is legit. It's a very good defense. Danny Stutzman might be the best defensive player in the country.
Yeah, he's making himself some money. So, again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Sooner Surge. That's going to do it for our 3 quick takeaways following the 20-6 victory over Cincinnati. We'll have more content coming your way soon. We appreciate each and every one of you watching the video. Make sure to comment your takeaways from today's victory. So, yeah, go ahead and drop those comments. That's it for the video. Boomer.